I told the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, that I disagree.
Mr. President, I wanted to ask you about Rick Bright. He's the head of the federal agency in charge of getting a vaccine out to Americans once it's ready. He says he has been pushed out of his job because he raised questions about hydroxychloroquine and some of your directives on that. Was he pushed out of that job?
I never heard of him. You just mentioned the name. I never heard of him. When did this happen?
This happened today.
Well, I never heard of him. If the guy says he was pushed out of a job, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. You'd have to hear the other side. I don't know who he is.
Thank you very much. So what Dr. Redfield was saying, first of all, is that we will have coronavirus in the fall. I am convinced of that because of the degree of transmissibility that it has, the global nature. What happens with that will depend on how we're able to contain it when it occurs. With the first 15 days and then the 30-day mitigation program, there's no evidence that the virus is transmitted from a pet to a human. Now, obviously, is that impossible? I mean, biologically, anything is possible, but there's no evidence whatsoever that we've seen from an epidemiological standpoint that pets can be transmitters within the household. So it's not surprising. I mean, when you have viruses that can infect multiple species, isolating it from an animal doesn't necessarily mean the animal is transmitting it.
What about the lion in the New York Zoo?
Yeah, well, that's the lion of the New York.
How did that happen?
It probably happened. I don't know, Mr. President, but I would imagine that one of the zookeepers probably had an asymptomatic infection, took care of the animal, gave him some food, touched him or whatever, and that's how we got it.
Thank you.